3 AI tools, all $20 a month, all claiming to be the best. And if you have ever opened all 3 on the same day, trying to figure out which one is actually worth your money, you already know that nobody gives you a straight answer. Every comparison video picks a different winner. Every review site has a different agenda. So today, on AI Compass, we are cutting through all of that. We tested ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini across 7 real categories with real tasks, and we are telling you exactly which one wins each round and which one you should actually pay for, depending on how you work. Let us get into it. Before we get into the categories, let us talk about where each of these tools actually stands in 2026, because the landscape has shifted significantly in the last 12 months. ChatGPT is now running on GPT 5.5, which shipped in April 2026 and became the default model on May the 5th. It is natively multimodal, meaning text, image, audio, and video all run through a single model rather than being bolted together from separate systems. The hallucination rate dropped 60% compared to the previous version, and it is currently the most widely used AI tool on the planet, with around 700 million weekly users as of mid-2025, a number that has only grown since. Claude is on Sonnet 4.6 as the everyday model, with Opus 4.8 at the top tier, which scored 88.6% on SWE-Bench Verified, the industry standard benchmark for coding capability. And Gemini is running Gemini 3.1 Pro as its flagship, with the faster 3.5 Flash already live since May 2026. The important context here is that the model quality gap between all 3 at the top tier is the smallest it has ever been. The differences in 2026 are not about which model is smarter in a vacuum. They are about which one fits how you actually work. Let us start with writing, because this is the category where the gap is most obvious and most consequential. Claude wins this one, and it is not particularly close. When you ask Claude to write something, the output sounds like a person wrote it. The sentence structure, the rhythm, the way it adapts to different tones, it consistently produces the most natural human-sounding prose of the 3. Claude also has a style feature that lets you upload samples of your own writing, and it builds a custom voice profile from them. So every piece of content it generates after that is written in your voice specifically, not a generic version of AI writing. That is something neither ChatGPT nor Gemini does with the same precision. ChatGPT is a solid writer and has improved significantly with GPT 5.5, but it tends toward formulaic structures, particularly with lists and headers in places where flowing prose would serve the reader better. Gemini writes competently, but lacks the adaptability that makes Claude's output feel genuinely personal. For writing, the winner is Claude, and if content creation is your primary reason for subscribing, that should be your choice. Image generation is a category where Claude does not compete. There is no image generation inside Claude at any price point, so if you need to create visuals as part of your workflow, you are looking at ChatGPT or Gemini. ChatGPT's image generation, through its integrated DALL-E model, is the stronger of the 2 right now. The level of detail, the ability to edit and iterate on uploaded images, and the consistency across different prompt styles put it ahead. Gemini generates images, and the quality is genuinely good, but in a direct comparison, ChatGPT produces the more reliable and more detailed output. This gap may narrow as Gemini continues to develop its image stack, but as of right now, ChatGPT is the clear winner for visual content creation. For research and real-time information, this is where Gemini makes its strongest case. All 3 tools can search the web and pull in current information, but Gemini handles it most naturally. It sits inside Google's infrastructure, which means its search integration is deeper than anything ChatGPT or Claude can offer from the outside. It synthesizes search results into clean, structured responses, and the formatting makes complex information easier to read at a glance. Claude is the one to be most cautious about in this category. It is exceptional for reasoning and writing, but its real-world knowledge retrieval and casual conversation does not have the same grounded feel as the other two. ChatGPT handles research competently, but can produce dense walls of text that take more effort to read than the information itself warrants. For research and staying current on fast-moving topics, Gemini is the winner, particularly if you are using Google search regularly anyway. Coding is settled. Claude wins. Claude Opus 4.8 scores 88.6% on SWE-Bench Verified, which is the most credible benchmark we have for real-world coding capability. It handles full file refactors, understands architectural patterns across large code bases, and produces cleaner code with fewer errors than the other two. 53% of coding professionals now use Claude as their primary AI tool, and that number reflects real daily usage, not marketing claims. Claude also has Claude Code, a dedicated terminal-based tool that integrates directly with VS Code and JetBrains for developers who want agentic coding capabilities built into their existing environment. ChatGPT is a strong second. Its code interpreter feature, which lets it run Python and show results directly in the conversation, is genuinely useful for data work and quick prototyping. Gemini has improved significantly, and its enormous context window helps when working with large code bases, but on code quality and debugging accuracy, it consistently trails the other two. For anyone who codes professionally, Claude is not just the winner, it is the obvious choice. Now let us talk about the feature ecosystem, because this is where ChatGPT makes its most compelling case. ChatGPT has the broadest feature surface of the three: voice mode, image generation, video understanding, code execution, custom GPTs, third-party plugins, and the widest integration ecosystem across external tools and services. If you want one subscription that handles the widest range of tasks without ever switching to another tool, ChatGPT is the most complete package. It is the reason it has the largest user base despite not being the outright winner in any single specific category. Gemini counters this with depth inside Google's own ecosystem. If your daily workflow already lives in Gmail, Google Docs, Google Drive, and Google Calendar, Gemini's integration into those surfaces saves genuine time every day in a way that neither Claude nor ChatGPT can match from outside. The copy and paste tax, the time spent moving text and context between your tools and your AI nearly disappears when the AI is already sitting inside the documents you are working in. Claude's feature set is the most focused of the three. It does fewer things than ChatGPT, but it does writing, analysis, and coding at a higher quality level than either of the others. Usage limits are the category that causes the most frustration after you subscribe, because the limits are not equally generous and they are not equally transparent. As of July 2026, all three platforms have moved increasingly toward metered credit systems on top of their subscription fees, which means the flat monthly price is increasingly buying you the floor of the experience rather than the ceiling. ChatGPT gives you the clearest structure. On the Plus plan, you get access to GPT 5.5 with a usage cap, and when you hit that cap, you drop to a less capable model rather than being locked out entirely. Gemini handles limits similarly with a drop-down rather than a complete stop, and several of its tools run on separate usage pools, which means you can run longer sessions without hitting a wall across the board. Claude is the most restrictive in practice. When you hit the limit, you stop rather than downgrade, and the reset windows mean fewer opportunities in a day for the cap to clear. For heavy daily users, this is the most significant practical difference between the three plans. So which one should you actually choose? If writing quality is your priority and you create content, scripts, articles, reports, or long-form copy regularly, Claude is the right choice. The quality advantage over the other two on prose is real, and you will notice it in every piece you produce. If you want the most versatile all-in-one tool that handles the widest range of tasks, and you want image generation included, ChatGPT is the clearest choice. It covers the most ground from a single subscription, and the GPT 5.5 upgrade made it substantially more capable than it was 12 months ago. If you live inside Google Workspace and real-time research is a core part of your daily work, Gemini offers integration advantages that neither Claude nor ChatGPT can replicate, and the value bundle at the same $20 price point stacks more total tools than either of the other two. The honest answer that most comparison videos will not give you is that the right answer for most people in 2026 is not one of these tools. It is two: Claude for writing and analysis, ChatGPT or Gemini for everything else depending on your workflow. The quality gap at the top is small enough that no single tool is so dominant it makes the others irrelevant. What matters is matching the tool to the task, and now you have the information to do exactly that. If this video helped you figure out which tool fits your workflow, subscribe to AI Compass, because this is exactly what we do here. Every week we test the tools, cut through the noise, and give you the information you actually need to make better decisions with AI. Drop in the comments which of these three you are currently using and whether you agree with our verdict. We read every comment, and the best ones shape the next video.